Welcome back to the Publish to Impact podcast. In a couple of weeks' time, there is going to be a name change. So it's no longer going to be called the Publish to Impact podcast. It is going to be called something similar, but different, in the sense that there is going to be more of a focus for business owners who are looking to write their book, looking to become authors, and looking to make more income, create more influence, more impact inside their industry. So I have some exciting new updates coming up in the next couple of weeks. But for now, this episode, we are looking at the top 5 mistakes business owners make when writing their book. So let's get into it. The first mistake business owners make when they write their book is they're not aligning their book idea with their life and with their business goals. What happens when you don't align your book with your life and your business goals? It's going to take forever to finish. It's going to take forever to become an author because your vision and how you want to achieve becoming an author, it's misaligned. So it's really important that there is alignment between your book and your goals. So you want to think about the purpose of your goals that you have when it comes to writing your book. What do you want out of it? Do you want to book speaking engagements with your book? Do you want to use your book to generate more leads inside your business? Do you want to use your book to grow your business and scale your business? Do you want your book to make more income? I mean, of course we want all those things, but at the core, what is it that you want? Do you want to use your book to make more impact for your current clients? There's so many purposes and visions that we have when it comes to our book, because besides it being a huge personal accomplishment when you become an author, we want to solve a problem for an audience. And if you're not aligning your book with your business goals and with your lifestyle as well, it's really hard to sit down and show up and get that book written. So that is the first mistake. It leads to lack of motivation and a real sense of purposelessness when you aren't sure on the direction you want from your book and you're not sure what you want to get out of it. Now, just to put this in perspective, when I wrote my first book, The 6 Pillars of a Rewarding Life, that book, I wasn't writing to start a business. I was writing that book just to really prove to myself and to help others that, one, I can become an author, but two, I can share my story and write a book that's going to really make an impact in other people's lives. That was really the main reason why I wanted to write The 6 Pillars of a Rewarding Life. But that also took me 3 years to write, because it took me a long time to actually figure out the purpose and the direction I wanted for that book. And it wasn't until later on in the process where I go, okay, this is what I want out of it. And since then, it took me 6 months to rewrite and get that book published. And then I went on to publish Evolve Your Skills, and then my also latest book, Publish to Impact, where Publish to Impact was, and this is probably more relatable for you, I wanted to build a business off of this book. And when I published that book, I also released the Publish to Impact podcast as well. And that was the goal that I had from the very beginning. I wanted to use that book to start a business, to create programs, and to start a podcast off the back of it as well. So you want to make sure you're aligning your book idea with your business goals too. The second mistake I see from business owners when they go to write their book is underestimating the importance of planning and structure. It's so easy to think that this book is going to take forever and we need to show up for 6 hours a day to get the book written. But it's entirely not the case. You can get so much done writing your book in an hour a day if you know exactly what you're going to cover. And this is what I preach with all my clients when they write their books, is before we even get started on the actual writing process, there needs to be about 3 to 4 weeks worth of planning done so that they know how to show up each day and they know that they can spend an hour and they can smash out a chapter. So having a clear plan and structure for your book is the key here. And when you don't have that planning or have that structure, you struggle to show up, you struggle to write your book. It doesn't flow. You start to doubt yourself whether it's going to happen. You need to build the foundation first before you start writing. And a side note, there is also a checklist I've created for planning and structuring in this episode, and you can get it in the show notes. So think about that, but we'll move on now. And mistake number 3, trying to do everything yourself. When you write your book, you're going to need help. It's so hard to do it on your own. It took me 3 years to write the 6 Pillars of a Rewarding Life and as a self-published author, but I invested in services that were going to help me make this book incredible. It's going to help me with something that I'm proud of. And those services that I invested in were professional editing, cover designing, and formatting. Doing all of those made me realize that this book is legit high quality and it's something that I'm super proud of. It's something that, I will never trade. And I want you to think of your book as a reflection of your brand and a reflection of you. Is a danger when we decide to cut corners because it shows if the writing's poor. It shows if there's no editing done. It shows if your book's all disjointed and the format's out of the place. It really shows. And to use that book inside your business, if it hasn't had the professional touch, it's going to reflect back on you. So collaborating with professionals who can get it done and put that quality on the final product, that is what's going to make your book shine, stand out, and to have something you're proud of and to be an author and really feel that connection that you have between you and your book. The fourth mistake business owners make is to ignore their marketing and launch strategy. Now, having a marketing and launch strategy is super important, especially to know that it's well thought out and you need to have a plan for when you launch. Because the last thing that you want to do is publish a book that nobody buys and you've gone on to all this effort, and if nobody's buying it, you'll feel like it's a flop and you won't feel like an author. So it is really important to have a marketing and launch strategy. And one of the best ways you can do this is to create a launch team. I did this with my first 2 books, and having a launch team, what you do is you have clients, friends, family, people who are there to support you in your journey towards writing a book and who are interested in reading your book. You give them a copy of your book before it's published and they're going to read it. They're going to give you some feedback. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask them to leave a review on launch day for your book. And that's going to create more visibility in the marketplace. And it's going to build anticipation for your book as well. So building a launch team really creates the hype for your book. And it's a really fun way to celebrate, engage, plan, and have a really awesome time launching because you don't want to go through your launch alone. And the final mistake is failing to leverage your book for business growth. Because after all, this podcast is about using your book to create more income, impact, and influence inside your industry. And the goal of writing and publishing your book and becoming an author for you is to use your book for business growth. Whether you don't have a business but you want to start a business, or whether you already have an established business, you want to use your book to grow your business. And when you write the right kind of book for business growth, there's so many opportunities that open up for you, and it creates so much clarity inside your mind, inside your business that you can use to your advantage. And so there are many different ways you can leverage your book for business growth. You've got speaking engagements, you've got networking. I mean, just getting your foot in the door, giving your book away for free. It's a really powerful tool. You can create online courses off of the back of your book. There's so many ways that you can use your book for business growth. So think of your book as a long-term asset for your business. Now, take it from me. I mean, I had no business before I started Published Impact. Well, I had a business. It was an author business. It wasn't a publishing business as such. So, I mean, I've now turned my book into a podcast, turned my book into a course, turned into my book into an upcoming experience to business owners. There's so many things that you can do with a book. It is super versatile. And that's why I believe every business owner should write a book. So we're coming to the end of the episode now. I just want to recap these 5 mistakes. Mistake number 1 was not aligning your book with your business goals and your life and your purpose. You really need to align what you want to get out of writing your book. The second mistake was understanding the importance of planning and structure. You need to create an outline for your book. And I would always recommend spending a few weeks to do that before you even start writing, because what's going to happen is that's going to set you up to effortlessly write and to write in times where you're not sacrificing your business, you're not sacrificing family, and you're not sacrificing other areas of your life that are important. The third mistake was trying to do everything yourself. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're investing in services that are going to make your book shine. You leave that to the experts because your job is to write and your job is to market your book. Mistake number 4 was ignoring the marketing and launch strategy. You want to have a launch plan in place. And the best option I could recommend for you to do that is to build a launch team where you've got other people reading advanced copies of your book before it's released, before it's published, because that's going to build anticipation. You're going to get them to share their reviews when the book's out. And it's just a really fun way to launch your book as well. You're not going at it by yourself. And finally, the 5th mistake is failing to leverage your book for business growth, because after all, you want to write a book that creates more income, more influence, and more impact inside your industry, and you want to solve problems for those you serve. So thanks again for listening. In the show notes, there is a planning and structure checklist that you can check out. It's going to let you know how you can actually write your book from start to finish and how you can plan it all out just so you can focus on what you will do best, and that is writing your book. So thanks again for joining me, and I'll catch you again on the next episode.